Okay, no? All right, so we are showing you how to measure for excursions, lateral excursions. So first, you're going to put that center arrow in the midline on the lower teeth. Then, and you see every little notch is 5 millimeters. If you have the patient grind to their right, or they have the lateral excursion to their right, then you can see you leave the center. The mark is on the center between number 24 and 25, and you're going to count how many until you hit the midline on the upper. So in this case, the right lateral excursion is 10 millimeters. And then you're going to have the patient move to the left. And in the left, it looks like this patient, again, measuring for the center. The center is right here with that arrow right there. In this case, it looks like it's 10 millimeters also. See that? That's for lateral excursions.
So put it onto the midline. Sorry, I'm putting it up here.
It's okay. We're measuring the midline and put that in between the arrow between 24 and 25 on the lower. It's so dark.
Oh, okay. Now I see. Okay.
Do you want me to do an easier one? That's the teeth are so hard.
No.
Okay.
Because you're gonna have you're gonna have a patient that's gonna come off.
Not have perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So you see that the midlines are on because he still has a little diastema there, right?
The midlines are on. Because I think the midline's right here, in between here.
Right here?
Yeah.
And right there. So midlines are on. Right?
It looks off.
Well, it's because if you lift it up, that tooth is like in the middle, but he has it's like the tooth is behind.
Yeah,
but
lift it
you
up.
have a midline that's on.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, if you lift it up for me, Christine. Yeah, you're right. Okay, it's just
like it's
crazy
there, but
looking.
the tooth is slightly behind,
Yep.
I think. That's what's throwing it.
Okay, so you have it on 0, 0.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the patient move their jaw as far as they can.
That's moving to the left, right there.
And then you have...
So it's 10.
And you're measuring according to the upper midline down
upper
to
midline, yep.
That's how you tell the lateral excursions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we're saying, okay, is midline on or off, you're measuring from this midline to the bottom midline on and off, or measuring the midline to like the frenum?
No, well,
that's
the
what I'm trying to
frenum.
figure out. Okay, so when we have that piece of paper and it says, what does it say? Just midline?
The progress?
Yeah, what does it say? In the exam notes, when it says midline, which midline are we trying to
If
capture?
you're working on models, you're moving off the midline of the teeth.
Of course.
Okay, but if you're working on a person, you're going to look at the frenum because you're going to actually look to their skeletal midline.
Skeletal midline. That's what we're marking on there. Okay, a skeletal midline.
Because you actually have the patient in your chair.
Yes.
Okay. And that's what's so great about having the patient in a chair, and you can actually tell the patient. This is a patient that I would use a number 2 on.
A number 2, yeah. Remember, because I actually showed her. I was like, this is what Christine said because his anteriors are so high and it slopes down. So that's a number 2. Okay, number 2, George Gage. But so far, that's how you do excursions. And then, of course, the range of motion we got. And that's the other thing. Protrusion. Can you have that little... Can you put the teeth together again? Are you measuring from, like, the top of this and then protruding forward?
Okay, so first I'm going to make sure that I take a measurement of their overbite, overjet.
Oh, overbite, overjet. So you're measuring, how are you doing that?
So from the bottom teeth to the top teeth, seeing how far is that forward. That's like 3 millimeters.
Okay. That does make sense. Okay, 3 millimeters. That's
and then, overjet. Of course, I'd have them open up their mouth and seeing how far is that.
What are we looking at now?
So, if you'll grab that top one for me. And you're going to see how, and then Dr. Locke would typically say, off of number 24, we're about maybe 6 millimeters.
What 6 millimeters, so what?
If you were to mark a line, bite down again, and you're putting this right at the edge of the teeth, right? Mm-hmm. Lift it up, and lift it up all the way. So, off this tooth right here, you would say you're probably about 2 millimeters. Off this tooth, if you were to mark it right there, you measure how many millimeters from that line to right there. So you're about maybe 5 to 6 millimeters.
So where they were closed, you would Mark it. and
Overjet,
then you would
overbite.
look-
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. Yeah, overbite. That's what you're
Yeah.
measuring.
Yeah.
You're measuring overbite. And so you would mark a line or something. How would you?
Well, from the where the line is at from the
Yeah.
paper,
Mm-hmm.
and then
how
I
you're
would, if I were to go like this,
Then
you're
you
trying
can
to,
measure it that way.
and you seeing it in your head.
Eyeballing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For the over bite.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've got all that written on the sheet. Okay.
Yes.
So when I'm having the patient come forward, go ahead and put the on there. So we know that it's probably about 3 millimeters, 2 to 3 millimeters forward, right? So we have the patient bring forward. Most times they're going to stop about here because this kind of person is going to have issues with their jaw.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have tight muscles. They're not going to be able to get that much further forward.
Sure.
So you would measure from that top tooth, either 8 or 9. How far is that number 24? It's about 2 to 3 millimeters
From the
forward.
buckle of 24, or just the inside, the very inside edge. part?
Incisal edge.
Gotcha. Does that make sense, Camilla?
Yes.
And then from number 8 for number 25, you're about 5 millimeters forward.
She measures both teeth. She just doesn't.
Well,
just
because
do-
you have,
Because of his teeth.
yep.
Yeah, his teeth
Okay.
are so crazy. Yep.
Yeah, and you would indicate that to the lab so that way they understand that.
Got it.
Okay? So when you're placing this on, so you got to make sure you unscrew that because if not, you're going to have it blocked.
Yeah, I felt like I couldn't unscrew it enough. I guess.
Oh, yeah, you just keep on doing
Keep on
it.
doing it
Until
okay.
it comes off.
And
if
sometimes
it has to.
and that's sometimes the case.
That'll happen, yeah.
Mhm. And then you put it at 0
Okay.
Where does it say
Screw it
0?
down.
right there.
Okay, right at 0. Okay. Okay.
And you tighten it down. She always used to like loosen that part right there.
So they can move.
Yeah.
Then we'll put it.
So then you'd put it on the teeth.
The lower incisor.
Is that it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I gotta lock this down first.
Do you want a different model? You still like that one?
No,
Okay.
you're gonna have to learn how to do
With this-
something like
yeah.
this.
I like it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're gonna have where it's offset,
Yes.
especially when they
Yes,
bite
that's
down.
right.
So you want to make sure that you have security. Okay.
What if they
Okay.
don't have any anterior teeth? They have only posteriors.
If they only have posteriors, you can make a bite with wax.
So put something where you would put the wax where initially teeth would be.
Mhm.
Okay.
First,
Because what's
First
important
idea.
is this.
okay, first
Yes.
idea that I would always do is taking a bite of their teeth with bite registration. So put occlusion, have them bite down so that way you can show the lab this is how they bite.
Yeah.
That's smart. See that?
I always try to provide them as much information
Information.
because they're
Yeah.
not there to see it.
Yeah.
And this is for me working in a denture lab
Mhm.
where the lab tech was like in the next room. So,
Yes.
you know,
Okay.
and he was
So
like,
bite,
yeah,
A bite.
not a vertical bite, but actually
Yeah.
like just a bite.
just an actual
Yeah.
bite.
Bite ridge. Okay.
And then you'll want to put this on and you're going to have to secure it. So if you got that tooth a little bit lower, sometimes you can put a little bit of wax on
Yeah,
there.
kinda
Just kinda
even
have
the-
it, yeah,
okay.
yeah, to even out the plane. But you're going to want it right in the center between the midlines right there.
Okay. So I'm looking at 8 and 9 here
Mhm.
and making sure that's mid. Okay.
Yeah, but if you think about it, when you're putting this on here because of the teeth, the way that the heights are,
Yes.
that's the one you're working with. Okay.
Okay.
So, and you knew that the midlines matched anyways.
Yes.
Okay. So you're just checking everything, saying, okay, do you have any pain in your muscles?
Mm-hmm.
If so, you bring them back just a little bit.
And how would I do that?
So you're going to reduce that.
Did you just have them move forward as far as he could, or what
No.
did you do? Or he's
I
still,
just bite
still at
down.
0.
Yeah,
he's
just
biting
bite
down.
Yeah, just
and
biting
you're asking
down.
if this pain is. Oh no.
So if they're having a little bit of pain, I'm going to release this and bring it forward by like 2 millimeters, probably even just 1. Okay.
So you were at 0, and then you released it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you kind of just brought them maybe 1 or 2 millimeters.
Yeah. So that way that their lower jaw goes back a little bit.
Okay.
So it relieves the pressure.
Ask they have pain first. Oh no, my phone just died.
You need the +1.
No, the best one. Can you record on your phone and send it to me?